Now, although the Toronto Raptors are not having the start to the season they would have liked, anytime they face a division rival, especially the Boston Celtics, it's always a fun, exciting matchup, especially given the season that the Boston Celtics are having. They're literally the beast from the East, and yes, that title is inspired by R.L. Stine. Anyone that read those Goosebump books growing up or watch those TV shows, you know where that title is from. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a preview of these two teams. I'm going to go through some of the statistics. I'm going to go through some key matchups, as well as give you 3 things I believe the Raptors need to do in order to win against the Boston Celtics. So if you're ready to watch this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. And the shout out for today's video goes out to Sher Khan. Sher Khan, thank you so much for supporting this channel through likes and comments. There were so many thoughtful comments in my last video, and I really do appreciate the positive feedback. Now let's get into the statistics for the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics. Now taking a look at some statistics here, the Toronto Raptors have a 9-2 home record, very impressive, while the Boston Celtics still hold a very impressive record in 8-3. And now points per game, that's how many points the Raptors are averaging at home this season. 111 points, which is about a point better than what they average on the road. And you see their defense is amazing this season at home. They're allowing opponents to only score 105 points, which is 8 points less than what they allow on the road. Now, Boston Celtics, quite impressive stats here as well. A really surprising stat to me was the points allowed. Now, normally teams are a lot better defensively at home. The Boston Celtics are actually allowing 4 less points while they play on the road, 110 points, and points per game is a little bit less, 11 points in fact. They're averaging 114 points on the road as opposed to home. You see 11 more points, which is they're averaging 125 points on their home court, which is a good thing for the Toronto Raptors that this isn't a game in the Boston Celtics arena. Now, talking about some key matchups, I do want to highlight this is going to be a really, really fun matchup. OG Anunoby is having himself a hell of a season. Not only is he performing really well offensively, he's in talks of becoming the Defensive Player of the Year. And there were some statistics that were highlighted just showing how well he's played against a lot of top offensive players. And I want to see OG Anunoby guarding Jason Tatum majority of the night. Now, Jason Tatum is having also an MVP candidate type of season where he's just averaging so many points, putting up really good points efficiently as well. So this is going to be a fun matchup, not only for those reasons because OG has been doing a good job defensively and Jason has been on fire offensively, but also the fact that these two guys are really good friends. So it's going to be fun seeing these two go together. Obviously, you can put different guys on Jason Tatum. Obviously, you're not going to have OG Anunoby the entire night. You could put Scotty Barnes on there for a little bit more size and physicality. You could put Pascal Siakam as well, but that's just going to be one matchup I'm really excited to see. Now, this next matchup here is actually going to be really difficult because Jason Tatum is having an MVP season, but Jaylen Brown is having an absolute underrated season. No one's talking about him. 27 points, 7 rebounds, almost 4 assists. He's also getting a steal a game, nearly hitting 3 threes a game. He's been on a league of his own, not only defensively, offensively. He's doing a great job. And I firmly believe this. If Jaylen Brown was on another team, I think we'd be having MVP talks about him as well. He put up even better statistics. And he's doing this with someone like Jason Tatum as well, which is super impressive. But Jaylen Brown is going to be a really tough matchup for the Toronto Raptors for several reasons. Now, because when you take a look at the Raptors backcourt, they don't really have the size to really keep up with someone like a Jaylen Brown. He's 6'6", 215 pounds, but he's a lot stronger than his frame. He plays a lot bigger, and the difficult part about guarding him is you can't really place a certain player against Jaylen Brown. You obviously can't put Fred VanVleet. He's too short, not strong enough, and you can't put Gary Trent Jr. either. Gary Trent Jr. is 6'5", but he plays much smaller. He's not really a good matchup defensively for Jaylen Brown. The thing about Jaylen Brown also is not forget the season that he's having offensively. He's way too small. Not way too small. He's way too quick, I would say, for most shooting guards. So sure, you could put OG Anunoby on him as well. But he's a little bit too fast for OG Anunoby. But if you were to put a smaller player on him, he's a little bit too strong for them to contain. So it makes it a very tricky matchup. And this is going to be one player you definitely want to keep your eye on if you're a Raptors fan and also a Celtics fan as well. He's having a hell of a season, but it's just one player I'm really worried about. Jaylen Brown is just a hell of a player. I've always liked him. I wish the Raptors found a way to acquire him. Obviously, that's not going to happen. This is just one player I like. Now, let's go into 3 things I really believe the Raptors need to do in order to win this game against the Boston Celtics. Now, the first thing I really believe the Raptors need to do against the Boston Celtics, and it's obviously a lot of people are going to say it's easy. Stop Jaylen Brown and also Jason Tatum. I'm actually not going to state the obvious. I think the Raptors need to play man-to-man defense. Not double teaming, because if you double team Jason Tatum, you get Jaylen Brown getting easy looks. And not only that, the Boston Celtics are first in the entire league in three-point shooting percentage. They also make the most threes per game. Now, you take a look at the statistics here. They have 7 guys, not including Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, that are shooting 40+% from the three-point line. Now, sure, you could probably take out Luke Cornett there, who's taking about 0.3 three-point attempts. But even then, you have 6 guys that are shooting 40+% from the three-point line. You do not want to double Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. You're going to be giving up a lot of threes to a really good team that hits a lot of threes. That's going to be a big challenge for Nick Nurse. I'm excited to see what he does. Again, I'd rather have the Raptors play man-to-man. I know it's difficult because, let's be honest, you'd rather give up 15 shots to Al Horford or Malcolm Brogdon or even someone like a Marcus Smart as opposed to someone like a Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. But this team is just going to be raining threes if you start to double Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I really hope the Raptors do not do that. Now, the second thing I believe the Raptors need to do is the same thing they did with the Orlando Magic. Now, obviously, it's not going to result in the same score because, well, the Boston Celtics are a much better team than the Orlando Magic. They have different personnel. So what I want the Raptors to do is get the ball moving a little bit. You can't have only Pascal and OG going at it on the offensive side because they're going to get worn out. Not only are Pascal and OG going to be asked to do a lot defensively, they obviously have been a huge part of the Raptors offense this season, but they need to keep the ball moving, get some other guys involved. Obviously, Scottie Barnes looked amazing last game as well, but you want to get the other guys going as well. Fred has struggled with his shooting, but you need a team effort. You need ball movement. You can't just have Pascal or only OG going on the offensive side because they're going to be worn out by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. Again, you're asking 2 guys that are really good defensive players and offensive players to do it on both sides the entire game. That's going to wear them out by the time the fourth quarter rolls around. So again, it needs to be a team effort. Keep the ball moving, especially considering the Boston Celtics just played last night against the Brooklyn Nets. They should be tired. Jaylen Brown played 40 minutes. Make them run around a little bit. Let them guess. Don't just go too much ISO. I think that's what the Raptors need to continuously do if they hope to win this game. And let's move on to our final and third thing the Raptors need to do in order to win this game. Now, this is going to be a lot easier said than done, but try to prevent the Boston Celtics from going to the free throw line. As good as the Boston Celtics are from the three, and yes, they're first in the league in that, they're also first in the league in free throw shooting percentage as well. So they're going to absolutely hurt you if you send them to the line, and you don't want to take silly fouls. Now, obviously, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're going to get theirs. It's hard to defend those players. They're going to get to the free throw line, but you really want to prevent the Boston Celtics from getting, again, it obviously depends on the referees as well, how they're reffing the game, but you want to try your best and not cause silly fouls. The Boston Celtics, what you don't want to give up to a really offensively talented team is easy free throws because they're going to be making those, and ultimately, when the game ends up being a 5-point game, those free throws are really going to hurt you if you're committing silly fouls. So again, it's easier said than done. I'm excited to see how the Raptors do the game plan against the Boston Celtics defensively. It's going to be fun, but we'll see what happens. I'm personally hoping, again, just my sixth sense, I think the Raptors win by 5. It's going to be a really close game. Anytime these two teams play, it's always fun. So we'll see what happens. These are just my things, the 3 things I want to highlight, and just some key matchups as well as some statistics. But I do want to hear your thoughts. What do you think the Raptors need to do in order to beat the Celtics? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. Now try your best not to look this up, and I'll give you a little clue. The last time the Raptors and the Celtics faced off was last season, but in the Raptors and the Celtics last regular season game, so not obviously including preseason game, who scored the most points? Was it A, Jaylen Brown? Was it B, OG Anunoby? Was it C, Pascal Siakam? Was it D, Jason Tatum? Or was it E, Scottie Barnes? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about a preview like this. I may do more of these during the season for key matchups. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.